Week after week, Shangri-La Frontier has been gracing our screens in the most beautiful way, giving us nothing but 10 out of 10 episodes. And no one's going to change my mind on that department. But to watch this episode, which borderline felt like a movie, I felt like I went on an hour and a half adventure somehow in the span of 20 some odd minutes. They're dropping bombshells left and right that, this whole thing, yeah, it is being a little easy, only to them to be like, hey, this is an actual story that understands game design. Sometimes you actually end up in escort missions. So because we kept the captain alive, because our ninja pal touched the right situation, because, you kept him alive, you enter the right loading area, you end up in this unique scenario, which is an inverted city below the water. So the water is technically the ceiling, the surface, it's so brilliantly well done. You have 1 week to clear this scenario. Now, I'm not sure if this scenario is actually the final boss fight, or if you do clear it within the week, you then unlock more. Either way, the absolute best designed unique monster we've discovered so far. Granted, we haven't seen the wolf stuff through to the end. I just personally really like the Cole Kraken, Lost City of Atlantis vibes going on. But it's the fact that the more I'm watching of this show, the more I'm like, how are they doing it? Like, they keep getting away with not only progressing this to feel like, why am I playing any other game in my own world when I want to play Shangri-La freaking Frontier? But most importantly, I felt this way for a long time. I felt this way within a few episodes of season 1 personally. I had a lot of confidence in this show. But we're almost done season 2. It's crystal clear. There is not a better damn designed video game style anime. Like, this is a full-on video game that feels like a video game. And while there's definitely some concerns I would have if this existed IRL, like, could you imagine you're in the middle of these scenarios and mom unplugs the VR? What happens there? Do you get booted from it for good? I don't know. I really think we shouldn't have brought a mule with us on the boat ride because I'm scared shitless that she might be dead. But once again, they blow me away with this show and its game design, its systems. And yeah, this is probably going to be the best boss fight we do have, whether or not we fully see it through this season or not. We know season 3 is already secretly confirmed. We just got to wait for the season to wrap up. But amazing stuff. Just mind-blowing game design. Production's on point, and we now have a canon, in-universe explanation of mermaids. Their titties have hypnosis, so look away, as the merman says. I thought that was pretty fantastic. Just great stuff. Of course, if you want to support my work, see my full thoughts on these amazing episodes, we got the full live reactions available exclusively over on Patreon if you're so interested. So, ain't gonna lie, one of the best season 2 episodes. Period. So, initially when the game kind of lagged, as Sunraku put it, I thought it was our ninja girl purposely using a skill, like time slowed for a second and allowed us to, jump around. Turned out no, because it was an escort mission, we kept them alive for long enough, and her touching the one part of the bow, it basically triggered the Kraken to come and knock in, and there's a giant whirlpool, everyone's getting sucked in. I'm thinking, well, what's gonna happen? Unique scenario, no time to accept or not, you're being thrown onto the bottom of the ocean floor. And it's so interesting because it's like the water literally did get pushed to the ceiling, basically. Like, that's kind of what it looks like. And it's just so interesting because it has that kind of Lost City of Atlantis vibes of like what would normally be, flooded by water is now on our ceiling. And you can still technically swim around, float around as seen by like the mermaids and stuff. But in general, it's just a really cool situation. And I like that they already confirmed how long he has to deal with it, and they also confirmed how he would be able to log out if he wanted to. So any building seemingly acts as like a safe point. So you go in there and you could probably log out, do what you want. It was kind of nice because we already have a new companion that we're dealing with who thinks he's just a giant bird with no feathers. And the more he sees of him, the more he's like, see, you're flying, you're lying to me, I know what you are. And he's like, bro, seriously, this is just a mask. It was just a really fun dynamic, and there's a lot of concern I have, of course, and that biggest concern is what happened to our NPCs. I'm not really worried about our allies. They can walk into a building and log out whenever they want. A mule can't do that. A mule, if she dies, she's dead for good. There's no reviving her. And I think that's the biggest reason why I think this isn't going to be the full-on boss fight, because it could, okay? It could. I don't think it's impossible for this to lead to the boss fight right now. But a part of me thinks this will lead to an item that can summon the Kraken. Maybe it's a horn that if you blow it in the water, the Kraken comes and knock him. I don't know. Like, this would be a really good location to fight a giant, octopus level design. But because we have two NPCs that can't respawn that were with us when this all happened, I don't know. It just feels like this is the party you would want to be. It's just, it has me concerned that we'll have to, always be looking over our shoulder. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe they will be the reason we can defeat it. I don't know. It's just, if I'm Sunraku, if I'm any of them, I would never bring the permadeath characters with me on missions. It's just foolish. General adventuring in the wilderness, sure, I don't mind that, but they could die for good. Like, that's frightening. But a part of me does also see how, like, this could be, like, there's, like, yeah, you got a week to clear it, and then you have to fight the boss. Good luck. But if everyone's separated, how would you fight it by yourself, especially if there's gonna be, like, 8 tentacles lapping you around? I don't know, there's a lot of things I got questions of, but that's good, because it keeps you guessing. You don't know exactly where you're going. I thought we were truly just gonna, I guess escort this captain. We'd get an item or something or a new quest. We'd log out. We'd go to the event. Now we're stuck in this like, it's hard to imagine him at any point logging out, flying overseas to go do this other game event, flying back home, and then within an extra day or two finishing up. Like, no, like, he's gotta finish this. Like, that feels like a given. But then again, with my luck predicting Shangri-La, he is actually going to log out, go to this event, and have a 24-hour window to finish everything up. Gotta add a little spice to it, I suppose. Either way, though, it continues to do the impossible. It continues to defy all odds. It's ruining other anime for me in ways. Like, it's like any other show that comes out now that's like, hey, we're playing a video game. It's like, no, you're not. You're playing a fantasy world. Shangri-La Frontier is the video game. Like, that, it legitimately has game design. And I got a comment, I'm not sure when it was, but I read it today, and I completely agree with it. It was on one of my older videos for the show, and it's like, hey, like, it doesn't feel like the author did research to make Shangri-La Frontier, but rather the author was just a gamer. And I was like, yeah, I completely agree, because this isn't someone, you could argue maybe the first half of Season 1, maybe even the entirety of Season 1 max, could have been an author who just did research of how different game design things work. But by the time you get to the third unique monster and all the mechanics that go into it, you don't develop and write stuff like this unless you actually play a shit ton of video games. And I think that's why so many gamers have latched onto the show, because it literally is like, yes, like, you get it. You're not bullshitting us, giving us surface level details, and it's fantastic. Let me know your thoughts down below. I definitely did not see the escort mission thing coming. I really thought it was just slaughter the monsters, and it developed in ways I didn't think possible. So definitely let me know your feelings down below. And what do you hope to see next week? Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we got Gun Bunny, Dan Yang, True Obelisk, Damian Shizix, Big Deval, Adler 2704, Shasu Passin, and we also have Jacob. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and y'all have a good one.